Well, we're multitasking this morning. So I've got banana muffins in the oven and we're trying to get ready for school. But I am so excited about this little project that I have to share the process. Now, when it's all finished, I might do another one and show you more. But this is how it's coming along, the little needle case that I was inspired by Nicki Franklin's one that she had created, and it was a pattern that she had gotten from Ann Wood. So thank you, Ann, for creating the pattern, and then for Nicki for showing yours, and it was inspiration. It was a springboard into something that I've wanted to be able to do. I didn't know how to save all these little bits and pieces from the story, the journey of Eliza the mouse. But this has given me a way to save all those little pieces and have a functioning little work of art. So it's made up of 3 pages, and then in the center there's a heart page. Well, all of these fabrics have meaning, of course, part of the story. The linen I had used, this is Belgian linen that I just purchased through a craft store. I wish I had some of the old antique linens that I know Nicki has used, but this is probably the first of many that I'll create. So I used that, and it's in a white. I had this twill ribbon that I've used that I used to wrap things with, some of the note cards, little things. So that is significant. That will be the loop for the button. The button is actually not part of the story, but of my story with Tim Ray, my husband, had bought me a jacket when we were first dating, and it reminded me of a Barbie jacket, Barbie fabric, I don't know, from the 60s. And so, no, it's okay. That's not the timer that they're done, that's the preheat. So this is the little button from that jacket, one of the spare buttons. So I've just used that. This fabric is it's a recycled pair of pajamas, my favorite pajamas, that my Tia got for me years ago, and I wore them out. So I have added that to the spine. The little polka dot is the backing that I used for Sophia's quilt. And when she saw it, she said, "I know that fabric. I know that material." And it was familiar to her because that's on the back of her little quilt that I stitched for her many years ago. The heart is created from some Liberty of London fabric. The little dress that I made for my Hitty doll, I used that fabric. So it's just got little French knots and a running stitch around to secure it. So that's the cover. You'll see the little dangly here. This is the little fox. That was the one book that I wrote that had no mousies in it, was The Fox Family of Franklin. And my friend Letty Worley Brooks, who created Sugar Lump the Pup and Baby Doll Bear, and she's an incredible artist. She had gifted this little charm to me when we had a show in Florida a few years ago. So that's the cover. Now it will be the page of it. Let me pull this apart so you can see. You take 2 pieces of fabric, and I'll put them together right sides and stitch around, and then you insert. I just cut out a cereal box and then put the felt. So this will be inserted in to make the cover sturdy. So inside is the fabric, is the toile. It's the Laura Ashley toile that I had my Grammy rocking chair upstairs. It was in this fabric, and then when it wore down, I'm about to lose you. I painted over it with some Annie Sloan chalk paint as the fabric wore down. So this is a wonderful memory. Sorry about that. Wonderful memory of that fabric. And then this will be a spot to attach needles, a little heart-shaped. And I did a friendly blanket stitch. I love the blanket stitch. The back part of the page is where the little fox is dangling from. This is a little pocket for my sewing scissors. And these were a gift from my friend Lori in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So that's the base, there. Then the next page, it's complicated. And the more I sit on it, I think I'm glad I didn't rush through this because I have more ideas. So the back of it is there was another piece to the pajamas, some scraps, and I thought, well, that would make a sweet little place to stick needles, through there. Well, as I got to playing with it, I thought, well, this was the threader. So just called to thread, and the little wires have broken off, so I'll need to get another one. But this was the first one that I got that I was from the company that I found the ribbons, the hand-dyed silk ribbon with the Gloriana ribbon. This is the hydrangea ribbon. This is the Victorian rose ribbon. So that was a perfect little place to tuck those and the memories of those ribbons. Now on this side, 2014 was when I came across and fell in love with everything Jessie Chorley. She's another artist in the UK and she has a little shop there in London, and I just loved her style. So I had made this little piece and just tucked it away. It was in my sewing basket. So I thought, well, that would be, and there's been times that I've just tucked needles in it as a needle keep. So I thought, well, I'll add that to it. So that's another page. That's the outside of it that will go in like this. Well, the front of it, this is where the inspiration struck. I have had this little piece, this little ribbon that was the original ribbon to Eliza's little shawl, and it was in the color hydrangea. Now it's worn out and it's faded, and this is a little piece of the knitting. I had knitted a little section on the tiny little needles. That is, be really gentle, that is the wool that I used to knit her first little shawl. So there's a piece there. Don't wiggle the table, it makes the foam fall over. So that's was a place to tuck all of that. This is Eliza the mouse, just a profile of her little glass bead eyes, and her cotton wicking tail. And this is the piece. This was the handkerchief, that last little piece. And I thought, what was I going to do with that? So I've done the French knots there. Be very, very careful, okay? Okay. And then I thought, well, I'll put in these. This is how I cut out the little mouse. So I just went ahead and tucked those. I added some lace, and there's some French knots there along the edge. French knots there to hold it down. So that will be, the little handkerchief will be like a page when it all comes together. You can flap that. So here is the middle section, and I've just done, it's just simple. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but there's more of the fabric that was from the pajamas. It was Taylor Linens. It was a set of their pajamas. So that will go inside here, and then here's some more of the Little Rose Liberty Tana lawn fabric, and then some more of the Laura Ashley toile. That will go right in the middle, and then it will be stitched together, and then close with a little, this will close over the button. So there's so much I want to tell you about all of it. It's of how the whole story came together. But do you see now why I was so excited over this project, over this little needle case? And when Anne, if you go to her Instagram, and then she has a link to her website, and then she has free patterns. This was a free pattern. And when she was talking about it, she said it could be a needle case, it could be a memory book, it could be a place to tuck little things. And hers is very different. She did blanket stitch all around, so I'll incorporate some of that here and there. But this was a really sweet way to keep those memories, those little tiny pieces, to have a place for them, a very special place. So I'm very thankful to the women creatives who inspire, the Jessie Chorleys, the Nicki Franklins, now Anne Wood, to be introduced to her. It's very inspiring to me as a creative to get those juices flowing and have a place for all these things. Like I said, this is the linen that it was just a package of Belgian linen, and the batting that I use for the cardboard, to cover the cardboard, is what I use to make the mice. And it's coffee dyed, so you can get it. It's just like what you would use for quilting. So that's what I use for that. This is, you can print out the pattern. It has all the pieces. You just cut those out, which leads me to the next thing, that when Sophia saw me working on this and beginning work on it, she was wanting, whatever I'm working on, she wants to be able to make or do. And so I said, you know what, we'll print out another sheet and you can cut it out and let's make you a paper booklet. And we found lots of scraps of fabrics that had been used on her little quilt. And so, do you want to hand this to me so I can show them what you made? So this is her little booklet. And when she first started we were trying to think what she could cut out. I said, just cut out some shapes. Well, she was cutting very, very tiny. So I wound up, I said, no, you've got to draw bigger. We've got to think big. So we drew a star, and she used her glue stick, did that. And then it was just, rectangles. I would just trace them out, and she would cut them out. Then she came to me, and she said, I want to make a strawberry. She said this red fabric. She got into the buttons. Her Aunt Sherry had given her a whole big bag of buttons we had in the house, and she found it. She dug through, and she said, these could be the spots on the strawberry. And then she wanted some green ribbon from my little box of Gloriana ribbons, hand-dyed ribbons. So she used that for the stem. Then she came back and she said, do you have some pink that I could use for my snake's tongue? So she had took a ribbon, I guess the piece that was cut off, made a snake, found a little button eye. And so the more she worked on it, it's just like me, the more I was putting it together, I kept thinking, oh, I could put this in there, or I could add that. She was doing the same thing. She just needed a little time and someone to be patient. And so for all you mamas, or you grandmamas, or you aunties, your uncles, give them a start, and then let them go with it. Let them see. Then she came in and she put some. Did you like the lace here? So show them your lace. You see? So I just thought that finished it out perfect, and we've had a great time with this. Again, when I get it finished, I will show you the finished product and how it just fits in your hand. I think I love that. Oh, the bunny rabbit. Nicki Franklin had told her that she liked her bunny the way it was coming along. She added some cotton. Now this is what is grown in Orlando at her Uncle Brad's, my brother's, the kitchen house, the culinary garden that's down there for Emerald Lagasse kitchen house. And so he grows the cotton, and that's what we stuffed the little Eliza mousies with, that cotton. So she used it on her bunny, and she put another little button eye. It had the ear, and she actually stuffed, didn't you stuff him with some cotton? She did. She stuffed him with some cotton, and then added that with her glue stick. So I thought it was very incredibly clever for a little girl that does not stitch. And then I told her you can actually stitch paper with thread, which she did not know. So I showed them the snake. So we stitch right through the middle. We stitch right through with some pink embroidery floss, and it kept it all together. So now she has her little book, and we're happy. And I think I better end here before the muffin timer goes off, and I'll go make my lunch. So for all of you multitasking and doing 100 things at once and spinning plates, thank you for stopping and taking some time to watch our little video. There's the timer. It's time for us to go. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Wave, Sophia. Bye.